So good morning, everyone. Hello, good morning. Happy Thursday. Checking to see if we are live. And yes, we are.
We're live.
So welcome to another episode of Viva Cafe con Leche. I am Dr. Lori Monaco, Badass Buddha. My company is Align Yourself Inc. I am a life coach specializing in transformation and mindfulness practice. I am a speaker. I am a chiropractic physician and the weight loss doc now. So welcome, and I'm coming to you finally from a beautiful sunny day in Southern Connecticut.
Good morning, buenos dias, namaste, mi gente. This is the Gladiator Guru, spiritual and creative healing life coach, which I love that. And I always get caught up in that. I'm an author, writer. I am a notary. I have to start putting that up because it's in my Google, my business. And a wedding officiant. So if anybody's interested, hit me up. And I'm coming to you from Tampa, Florida. Good morning, buenos dias, Carmen Nieves. Good morning.
Oh, Carmen's been jumping on. I've been so happy to see that. Gladiator Guru, you look absolutely stunning this morning. Look at, you're very angelic looking, and you look like you're feeling better. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling better, thank God. I am. Thank you. I feel much better.
Good. I'm so glad. Good morning, Tiffany Bryan. Tiffany jumped on this morning, so good morning to Tiffany. We're glad you are here.
Good morning, Tiffany.
So you have any plans for this weekend at all, or?
Well, Saturday is my mother's birthday. She'll be 75, and my grandson's birthday. He'll be 14. Same day.
Nice. My mother's birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy belated.
And she turned 84.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah.
God bless. Yes. And Saturday, the girls and I from Ajusta tu Corona, because it's getting to crunch time. So, mi gente out there, on November 8th, get your tickets now. The first 25 people to purchase their $25 to participate in Ajusta tu Corona virtual empowerment. It's an empower movement this year, not an empowerment brunch. They get an awesome gift bag. Awesome gift bag. The gifts in that bag is pretty awesome. So the first 25 people.
So there's an awesome gift tab, and they're pretty awesome. So listen, so we need to put the links, like where to connect with Ajusta tu Corona. And for those of you that are watching, like seriously, jump on this. There's going to be, there's just so much to offer all of you, and information and insight. And while it's going to be fabulous in the virtual space, once everything calms down and we are back to in person, that you definitely want to experience it that way too, because it's so much fun. And it's just like any good, if you've ever been to any type of Hispanic party, you know that they got it down good. I mean, listen, I thought Italians know how to party, but Hispanics know how to really, really party, and especially celebrating women. And it's not that it's just for Hispanic, it's women. We are celebrating women, adjusting that crown. So it's for every woman out there that needs the tribe, needs to be inspired, needs to be pushed, and for you to help pull other people. So if you're up there and you're all that, it doesn't mean that you can't attend this. We want you there too. I'm saying we collectively, because I'm part of the crew in that sense, because I've been, it's such a great thing that's offered. And so if you are fabulous, show up so you can help other women be fabulous too.
It's like I wrote something promoting Ajusta tu Corona, and I wrote, when women empower women, the universe sings. It doesn't matter what walks of life you come from. The thing is that we're the strongest superhuman beings of the universe. We are the breeders of life, and we forget our place in this world. And the Ajusta tu Corona virtual empower movement you're going to be one of the life coaches presented. And then we're going to have acts. So you're gonna see there's some acts that are happening. There's a breathing, learning how to breathe. There's a dance. And then we're gonna have just like moments of things of different people, the pianists, us, of course, commercials, advertisements, and they're gonna be fun and they're going to be empowering in their own way. So I think $25 for 2 hours of an empowerment virtual, what I want to say, an injection. It's an injection of energy. It's an invitation to life. So come on down, November 8th. Get your tickets now. November 8th would be Ajusta Tu Corona virtual empower movement. And I encourage all women to attend.
And share that information. My God. Share that information. Just if those of you that are listening, share that information. I mean, share our videos too, of course, but share that information as well. So it's on Eventbrite, right? You guys have already posted on an Eventbrite?
Yes, it's on Eventbrite. It's on my page. It's on Lillian's page. It's on Francia's page. So it's all on our social media, so you can't miss it. And remember, the first 25 people to purchase their $25 ticket gets a high value retail gift bag. So you're winning. It's a win-win for all of us. Yes. Let's help spread the word of empowerment, of inspiration, of motivation, and let's inspire one another to aspire to our purpose in life, to our dreams.
I know, because we've kind of pushed each other down a little bit over the years, and that's so not our nature. And it's sort of like we've played the other game that's out there, and I don't want to be like gender biased, I suppose, but it's sort of like we played that game to survive, and enough already. That doesn't work for us. We are nurturing individuals, and we want to, if we boost, I think the idea is that when we let somebody else shine, it outshines us, and then we lose our place. We can't look at it that way anymore. We have to boost up. We have to boost ourselves, and then if we're up there, pull other women up. And if other women, you're up there, you have to pull other people up. And that's what we need to do, because enough already. I mean, look at the state of our world. Who's to blame for that?
Power hungry, but I look at it, there's a lot of things that say, keep your next move a secret. Don't let nobody put, the evil eye on what you're planning on doing. And, me being a spiritual being, I believe that if it's for me, ain't no demon around that's going to take it from me.
That's correct. Right.
Whatever God places upon me, it's for me. It's my gift. Now, it's my gift, but I still got to work towards it. I still got to, we all have to put the effort in to accomplish our goals. It's not just going to happen. Just the same way as someone can't just steal it from you. There could be a market saturated with the same business down the road. You're looking up and down the road, but whatever you have to offer is going to be different than all the others.
That's correct.
That's correct. Never feel threatened. Never feel threatened of another woman starting a business at the same time with you, or starting something similar, because you know what? We all get inspired from what we see. So the same way someone's seeing us, and they can't copy us, right? They can try, but then they can say, oh my God, I always wanted to do this. She's going to inspire me to go forward. And then a lot of people don't do it because then they want the other person thinking they're copying off of them. Or if they do, then they're like chastised because, oh, you're doing what she does. And that's nonsense already. Enough. It's enough. Let's just
Gladiator Guru is back, if you have noticed. She is back. And I can't stop staring at you. You're so beautiful this morning. Like, it's not that you're not. It's not that you're not, but your hair is, I haven't seen your hair down like that in a while. And it's just really, it's really nice. It's really nice to see it.
Thank you. But yeah, I just think that the message has to be, Lori, like you and I,
she redirected that question. She didn't want to flourish in the compliment. She I was just kidding.
Because, our love for Café con Leche is totally different. You like that flavored shit, like little, minimum body stuff. I like
that flavored shit. Listen to you.
And, Carmen, listens. When you speak, Carmen listens. And then she's sitting home doing her 50 million projects that she gets involved in. And you still pop in her mind. Now, this is the epitome of a selfless woman who likes to see other women thrive. And so then when she planted the seed of Viva Cafe con Leche, and then my first person, when she said it, was you, you know, it's like no one is going to take that from us. No one is going to take anything from us. Our differences, it's what complements one another. Ladies, so if you're out there, you know, it's just like, you know what? Enough. Ajusta la corona of the next person. Keep it moving and walk in your own lane. And then just, you know what? Be like that. What's that sunburst beam that you're walking, but it's like a whole bunch of rainbow colors that just come out.
Nice.
I can't even think of the word.
But it's beautiful.
But you can be that, and you know, and just let's just thrive. Let's just help each other thrive. If 2020 didn't teach us anything, it taught us that life changes in a heartbeat. But you know what? You survive and you move on. And if this year wasn't the year of the gardener, like to me, God was such a gardener, planting so many seeds at the beginning of this year for us. For some, it's already blooming, and for others, they're starting to peek out through. And that was him, you know, like shifting life for all of us. And if you didn't learn anything, shame on you.
And just remember that with all the crap that came this year, that's really good fertilizer for those flowers.
Yeah, it was. So pa'lante, you know, pa'lante. We have to say pa'lante. So before, I'm sorry, I know I'm taking up most of the time. So here's my taza.
It's fine.
And I love that. When in Lori, I'm sorry, but I know that this weekend it's going to be busy for you.
Oh yeah, I have a funeral and a wedding to go to. It's like that movie. What is it? 4 weddings and a funeral. I only have one wedding though. But yeah, it's a busy weekend. So let's set our intention, shall we? And our mantra for today. And then we'll bring on our beautiful guests. You can introduce them. Do you want to do some shout outs though before we do our intention?
Yes. So we Carmen Nieves. Oh, Diane Claudio. Good morning, beautiful. Chanel Real Deal. Hello, my beautiful cousin. Vicky Rodriguez Algarin. Hola, mamita.
And Michelle Houston is on. She said good morning. And Argenis is on too. He said good morning.
Good morning, my son-in-law. He's on yours, not mine. That's awesome.
If he's on the regular one, I couldn't share mine this morning, so I'm just on Viva's.
Good. Oh, Chanel, you just came back on. I just said good morning, beautiful. Yeah. So welcome everybody who comes. Listen. Thank you for taking the time to visit with Lori and I this morning. The badass food, I gotta get that. So yes.
All right, intentions. So your intention for today, we're going to be talking about social stigmas, men and women. So let's set the intention to follow the flow, to rise, to meet my own standards, to be afraid and do it anyway. So to follow the flow, to rise, to meet my own standards, to be afraid and do it anyway.
Oh, I like that. To be afraid and do it anyway. I like that.
And what about your mantra? What's your mantra for today?
It's very simple. The mantra for today is believe in your you.
Fabulous.
Believe in your you. In your you. And don't believe in yourself, because half the time people say that and the person listening to it don't know who the fuck they are. So believe in your you, the person you were born to be, the person that at this moment, if you still haven't gotten it, all your ducks in the row, believe in the person that at this moment is going to take their next step onto their path.
Fabulous. That's wonderful. Okay, good. Fabulous. Fantastic. So do we want to bring in our guest? So why don't you introduce our wonderful guest? He's waiting in the background to come in. We're going to be talking about social stigmas, men and women. So we need to have a man's perspective today, which is wonderful. So go ahead, introduce our fantastic guest today.
Today, I would like to introduce, and many of you already know him from our Watermark podcast. I would love to introduce, drum roll, Byron Roquemore.
Tell a little bit while he's getting on. Let's tell everybody his background too, because I didn't even know that was his background. It was very impressive.
Yeah, yes, and he was a program director for over 16 years at a drug and rehab center. He hails from Brooklyn. So when we get together, it's like we're still up north. the way we just like it's just a beautiful friendship. Byron and I have been friends since January of 2008.
Nice.
That's when I met him. I met him before I met Eric. Byron, I can't see you. Turn your camera on. And then
can we even hear him too? Byron, can you hear us? Let's see.
And
if you can hear us, Byron, we cannot hear you or see you, my friend. So we need to fix that. Work on that. So yeah, what you wrote was that he's a professor of criminology. That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Race.
Yep, and he's worked as a director for substance abuse.
He was the program director of several rehab centers there, Adaco. And so Eric was his supervisor for many years at the place where I met them. And then Byron worked the third shift, and then Eric went to go work for him first shift as the supervisor of the drug and rehab, one of the centers there. And so like for all these years, they shuffled back and forth being supervisors of one another. But yeah, so they've been good friends for a very long time. Oh, it's connecting.
Good. I was just about to send him a chat note. All right, so let's see.
I had sent him a text telling him we can't hear him.
And he has to unmute himself too. And we can't see him. So hopefully, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you not gonna, how about your video, my friend?
Oh, you say my friend. It didn't sound like that. But anyway, I'll go.
What did it sound like?
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry.
You got her so excited she's having a coughing attack. Good morning, Byron.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was trying to get into my place and then it didn't work out. So I'm on the phone in the car with you guys.
That's fine.
I keep forgetting about traffic in school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And nice little yellow buses. Can you see me fine? Can you see me?
Yes. You look, yep, you can see it. Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
So good morning. Pardon my tardiness.
No, you're good. You're fine.
You see, I like you. You're so much nicer than Margie.
I am so nice.
You're okay. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I can fix your hair. Okay. Yeah. Did you take care of that cough, young lady?
Yeah, I just think I don't know what it is. You know what? It's a medication.
No, listen, she didn't cough at all until you got on. So you must have brought some excitement to her or something.
Not at all. What happened is I took my medication.
I tried, Byron.
Hold on.
Can't even give you that little piece.
I took my medication before coming on because I'll forget it once I get off. And it's the one that loosens up your mucus.
Oh, that's the excuse.
Okay, Margarita. We didn't need to know all of that mucus conversation.
Well, you know what? I like to share. Y ahí tú tienes.
I know all that. I know all that. I thought we were talking about something different besides mucus today.
Yes.
That was a good segue. So yes, we're going to be talking about social stigmas and and specifically, you know, men and women, the stigmas that are attached to us. So the questions that we can consider, you know, discussing and going into. So what does society think and feel about the two genders with regards to things like jobs, pay, finances, social order, intelligence, buying power, like property, cars, clothes, a seat at the table, dating, emotions, and mental capacity. We don't have to talk about all those things, but we can just sort of touch on those things. So who wants to get started?
I'm about to say, that sounds like a 2-week.
Yeah, no kidding. Right, exactly. So what do you think, Guru? You want to start the conversation? Where do you want to go with this to start? What do you think?
No, not right now. Let this.
Oh, it's the tickles there? Okay.
Okay, let's do it like this real quick. Every time I ever have a conversation about issues like that, me having 6 sisters, I thought, Margie, that's the only reason why she wanted me to come speak, but I can and me have a chance to bash my 6 sisters. So I said, I'm going to be here for this, okay? But but I understand it as far as in our society, when we talk about men and women, we talk about roles. And I think roles kind of define that, but it's roles that are not willing to change, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you did something when you was 12 years old, you don't do it anymore. So at 12 years old, your role in the family was this. And now you are, you know, and then when you are an adult, everybody still try to place you in that role as the 12-year-old, but you're not that 12-year-old anymore. I think women and men have kind of got comfortable in their past roles, and then now things have evolved, and they truly don't want to change the role, in a sense. You know how they, what a woman's supposed to do: cook, clean, be passive. Be a good mama. Drop some kids. Feed me and shut up. What's a man supposed to
feed you?
But,
what year are you living in? What decade?
Okay, but see, when you say that, right?
Yep.
Majority of men won't say what I just said, but they're thinking it anyway.
Yeah, but they're thinking it. Yeah, and that's a good point.
So they're not going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say it. You know what I'm saying? But they won't tell you that. So then when you say, well, I need to be paid as much as you, in their face, they're shaking their head, yes, you do. And in the back of their mind, they say, why is she washing some dishes right now?
And you know what's funny is we're thinking the same thing. We're looking at going, why aren't you washing the dishes, you lazy ass? That's what we're thinking.
See, and then that's when we get caught into that. I tell them, it's just almost as when we talk about racism, it's the same thing. If men have the upper hand, so then their mind.
Yeah, sexism, right.
So in their mind is superior. So in their mind, in order for a person who's superior not to be overbearing, then he has to do some things with himself and say laws need to be in place. That's why I'm big on laws that kind of set up for women to have voice. Because if laws not in place, then it doesn't stop the person who wants to control everything to put them in their place. And I think a lot of people don't have the capacity to be empathetic. Because they don't have to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. And that's a social stigma right there too. I think that the idea that women are, it's understood for women to be more empathetic than men. Men are supposed to be tougher. Women are the ones that are supposed to be more nurturing, compassionate, empathetic. And then as a result, it's considered a sign of weakness. But in actuality, being empathetic and being compassionate is quite powerful and courageous and strong. It's just that we think that it's weakness because we're showing a lighter side of us, but you can still be very strong and be understanding of people, but hold them accountable. So it's about boundaries. And so that's a stigma that needs to go, that men are tougher and handle things better. And then women are the more nurturing side. I'd love to see us just share those roles. I personally am like over that piece of it. I really wish we would just all share it, period, because I think men are really capable of it.
In the other end, do you like, I was taught as a man that I need to open the door for a woman. Right?
I do like that though.
Right? Okay. So we got to kind of figure out in between that where we're at.
I can do it back though. I don't mind doing it back.
woman, I don't need you to open the door for me. Yeah,
listen, you don't love the way I open the door for you. But seriously, no, really, I mean, I think it's cute as hell though. But listen, that's true. And we can have you back on. But I think it's cute. I think it's so cute. Like my personality is that, like, if the man holds the door open for me, I love that. I think it's beautiful. I love chivalry like that. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I got you on the next one, you know, and it's playful. And that's, so I love that back and forth, showing that it's like we're a team, we're a team, a pair, rather than you're this. I mean, everybody has their strong point. You know, do I believe that men are stronger physically than women? Overall, yes. And women can get mad at me for saying this, but I'm coming from a science standpoint with my science background, that physically speaking, men are stronger, but it's arguable because I've seen some really powerful women. I've seen some very non-powerful men.
But then it
collectively,
how you define strength. It all depends.
That's true.
Right. So you know, I think a woman having a baby is stronger than any man could.
Yes, it is.
So
yes.
It's like how I define strength. You know,
I meant in physical, like lifting up, physical, like, you know, that type of strength. That's what I was thinking specifically.
To me, having the baby is a physical act, and I'm thinking that too. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I process it. You know what I'm saying? Because when somebody says, "Oh, they're not stronger than me," yeah, if we was in a boxing match, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But if you had to do that 10-pound 9 ounces, I don't think you can manage that.
We'd solve the population problem if men had to have babies.
I'm saying we'd be like, we're done.
But even like in strength, like she says, in strength, you guys might be stronger, but you are the weakest, most pathetic people when you're sick. You know, you get a cold, you're in the bed, you got
Margie, where did you come from with this? Listen, we're not having that today, Margie.
Oh my goodness! You know, let me tell you something. I think that if we have a respect level, that the men see the women as the powerful beings that they are, and the breeders of life, and you know, the trendsetters and the trailblazers, and the ones that keep up a home. A man can buy a house, but a woman makes it a home. You know, so you can buy me groceries, nigga, and I'm gonna feed you for a week with that grocery. So it's like whatever you give to a woman, we multiply and give it back. So it's, you know, you have like your kid, we're gonna get into that. But the thing is that we have to have that underline of respect to understand that we each possess a powerful strength.
Yes.
Coming together, we are going to make each other's lives 10 times more powerful and brighter and more engaging than ever.
Right.
You know? Okay. I think mentally a man is always weaker because they know what we are capable of doing. Not to insult you, because I don't want to insult men.
Just did.
Mentally and emotionally.
Take it back.
We are so much more stronger than a man that they are intimidated.
I can't get a conversation. I'm like Pence today. Take it back.
But Chanel says, like our Kay Harris in the debate last night, it is so much harder for a woman to fight to be on top. Women always have to put people in place. It is how you raise your child, and we have the power and intelligence to change the way genders are viewed. And yes. Lori, I agree, physically built by the way our bodies are, but scientifically men are stronger, but not mentally.
Yes.
So, yeah, backing up what you're saying.
Well, okay, so let's fix this a little bit. So mentally, we are so different in the way we think. And again, on a science perspective, men have a strength in certain things with mentally, and women have a strength mentally as well. One of the things that we women are really good at is that we're really good at doing multiple things at the same time. Now, I'm going to be careful about this. I'm not saying multitasking, because actually it's been proven that we are not there's no such thing as multitasking. Like, you cannot do that. Your brain is not capable of doing multitasking things. But we could do multiple things at once, because we could have a lot of what's the expression? You know, pans of coals in the fire or whatever. I forgot the expression. Right. But we could do, and then men have more of a
compartmentalization.
Yes, and they're good at that. So like when there's something that needs to be done, they just do it. And women are more of like the, you know, and like Margie said, it has to do with that we all have our strengths, we also have our weaknesses. And when we identify them, not based on gender, but just based on us. Because listen, I know a hell of a lot of men that can take care of a house, make it a home, cook. And I know a hell of a lot of women that could care less about that. And Byron. They just rather do, right? So it goes either way. I've also seen men step up and be amazing caregivers to their children, whereas the women were the ones working. And it just worked out that way because the women they had a better job and they chose that role. But even that though, let me mention that men still look down at other men when they are caregivers. When men choose, and I'm saying choose, to stay home and take care of the kids and be the house husband, as it's called, men look down upon them like they are like beneath because that's not the role that they normally play. So we're back to the role thing that you were talking about, Byron.
They need to change that name. House husband sounds wimpy. See, remember, for men, if you're kind of set up to be a hunter, then if you do things that are not hunter specific, then there's a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? So then when the evolution happens and you're evolving, people got to be willing to say, okay, we're at this point now. So rules, rituals, and routines, that's how you run a family, a home, or anything. So when we get past the rules, okay, this is the rules. We have our routines. This is what we do every day. And then we have our routine, rules and routines. Once we get past that, then everybody kind of get lost. You always got to pull it back and say, okay, where are we starting at? Where are we at? And this is what we're going to do. So as in a micro sense with a man to a woman or any relationship between the genders, you should be happy if your woman or your man is pro their gender. They should be. Okay. However, with that being said, you also got to go back to the thing of that mutual respect and say, you know what, okay, what do you bring to the table? The Bible says, know who you labor amongst. So it's a big deal that you got to know who you're dealing with. If I'm dealing with you, me and you talking, Margie, I already know, okay, it's about time for her to get in the segue. So I gotta, so I gotta understand that if I'm working with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it takes time for us to be willing to open up and listen. And for men, that is an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't perceive you as equal or as worthy, then it's going to be hard for me to open my ears to hear what you're saying.
I like that. Equal and worthy. Equal and worthy. And I think that's what lacks in men when they're dealing with us, strangers and sometimes even family members because of the machismo in the family.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so and I wholeheartedly believe it is how you raise your child. You know, the mentality from yesteryear, from our generation, from our parents' generation, it should be like a whole 180 to how we're raising kids now, how we're raising our grandkids. You know,
not to segue, but to segue, pro-gender stuff. And I knew I was coming in a pro-gender. Two things that news-wise, I like news, right? Did you hear about the Nobel Peace Prize with the two women who won the Nobel Peace Prize? Two ladies did. Do some homework on that, y'all. There's two ladies this year that won the Nobel. That's the first time that's ever happened. Two women winning the Nobel Peace Prize at the same time. So that's big. Okay. So and one got into chemistry. And then the other one, I forgot the other young lady, she got something else. Well, please, all your viewers and stuff. So things are happening. And then look at the biggest thing if we talk about pro-gender stuff is Kamala Harris and doing her debate with Pence. And I'm looking at him and looking at his utter disgust that he had to sit there with a woman. And as much as he tried to hide his disdain, it was obvious that he was disdained, that he even had to sit in the same forum and have the discussion with a woman of color, and a woman who was intelligent. So it's some big things going on. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's got to notice that it's actually happened. So that's another thing about
I just hate how long it's taken. It's taken way too long for shifts to occur. And I mean, I'm grateful for shifts, you know, but I mean, we can go gender, we can go race, either way. I think that the problem is that these social stigmas attached doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, we're talking about men and women, but even if you put race into it, we as humans, we are all the effing same. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't care what the hell your color is, your background is. I don't care. We are biologically and physiologically the exact same. The only difference in men and women are the reproductive organs. But we still create these differences amongst us. And I'm like, to me, yeah, that's great that we have a vice president, a female that's running for vice president. But we are like one of the few developed countries that has not had a female at the head realm. And to me, it's BS. And it took us that long to have a person of color in that position. And I'm done with that. Like, I have got to tell you, it's like we've waited so long to make these changes. And it's all because of us. We allow these social stigmas to stick. And you, like you said, we get comfortable and we just let it ride. And it takes something to pull it up into the forefront to say, wake up. Like, to me as a female, I'm surprised I didn't even think about it. I mean, I was born, I'm 50. So it's like in the 80s and the 90s,
girl,
never crossed.
I never thought that.
Oh, thanks. Okay, I'm going to let you sit next to me all day, Byron. Okay. So I've never once crossed my mind, never once. I got to admit this, 80s, 90s, even in the early 2000s, that a woman has never run for president. And it was just, oh, who's running for president? Oh, who's going to do this? It was just this thing. It never
rules, rituals, and routines.
Yes.
You got caught into a routine.
Yes. And then my daughter, and so I have a 7-year-old, and my daughter said to me the other day, we were talking, and I said to her, you can be anything that you want to be. You know, you just don't ever forget that. You could be anything you want to be, do anything you want to do. And she said to me, and I was thrown off with this because I didn't expect it. She goes, I could be president. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, it was just weird. I've never had my kids say that they want to be president of the United States. But it was so out of context for her, and it was so out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't even like that we were discussing it. So I was like, yes, you can be. You can be whatever you want to be.
Well, that was the big thing when we talked about having Obama there to start breaking some things down. You know, we say it took a long time, but people who have been in position of power, they said this has happened too fast. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all the perspective of who is in the driver's seat at the time, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then how happy is a person to give you their power or their tools? But they have that saying, you know, never will the master give you tools to dismantle his own. So, you know what I'm saying? So who's going to give you that tool? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Those tools are taken for the most part, or persuaded, to be given. And we're getting there. We're getting there. I think having conversations like this, dialogue is the big thing. Having conversations like this, opening it up. Thank you so much, Margie, for having me on these conversations, because, you know, to me, that's the big deal. You know, once we start dialoguing, then people can hear it, and it opens people's mind up, and they can say, wow, I don't have to think like this no more. Because a lot of times you do things, I'm telling you, routines are crazy. You do things so much, have the ritual of just not even thinking about stuff, and you'll go through a whole blind progressive state of living, and you won't even know how you got there at the end of the day. So that's where we're at. My grandfather is 97 years old, and he told me, I thought I would never see, he said, I was amazed at the phone, and I thought I would never see a black president. And we got it. So, you know what I'm saying? So I think things are moving. They're moving.
Yeah, I think we can't give up, you know, with the stupidity. We get so caught up in the stupidity. You know, and then we're like, oh, well, that's what's going on. So people are afraid. Like, you know, Lori and I were talking the other day. We were talking about this. And I've always loved to study the women's suffrage. I mean, suffrage, I can't even say that word right. And everything they lost, you know, it's just like the civil rights movement. That's what the women's suffrage was back in the day. They lost everything, their kids, their homes. They were imprisoned. I mean, And they got the women to where we're at, and then we got comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got comfortable, so we just let the men deal with that, with the politics.
we get to we're here, and like we're here, and then we get to here, and then we stay.
Right.
And
then
then
is it comfortability, or is it saying, you know, as you know, I'm not a woman, but you know, every day if you gotta come home and fight with your husband, sometimes you just don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you wasn't for the cause, but you know, it's just that you just like didn't have, you know, all right, you know,
Then that's where
right.
you got to put your big girl panties on and choose your battles wisely. This is right here, and then this is going to take my daughter further than I ever imagined to be.
Right.
This is me preparing my son mentally to go out into this world and make positive change for his sisters coming up, or for his daughters.
Or be willing to deal with a woman who's professional and is dynamic. So do you know that goes into a whole nother discussion about.
I don't think I like the choice of words, to deal with her.
I don't care if you didn't like it, woman. I just said it and I meant what I said. Okay.
I'm gonna learn to deal with you.
Listen, you've been married long enough. You'll learn that word. So
I think that, you know, growing up, I've always been a revolutionist, always, you know, the cause, and those who know me know I've always been that way. You know, I grew up, just learning everything I can, and there's two women that I absolutely loved. That is Angela Davis and Lolita Lebron. And if nobody knows about my Puerto Rican revolutionist, Lolita Lebron, that was in prison for many years for trying to kill President Truman, look her up. And it was more like to make noise, to get noticed, you know, for Lolita. But what I'm saying is we don't take those chances anymore. Now that we can, you know, get out there and protest, or, you know, do this type of stuff, we're not doing it as much. We're not doing it.
I think, you know, in the last 2, 3, or 4 years, people have been dynamic in fussing and yelling and screaming. Look even the show that you're doing today, that's dynamic. Okay, you all sitting here having this conversation, talking about, because let me tell you, some people that's going to see that, just like earlier, you know, when you said that women is, men are stronger than women. It blew some people's mind. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Because every time you put yourself out there to have a conversation and dialogue, there's going to be naysayers and people who's going to be angry that you're willing to give another side some props, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think I don't want to discount the movement of women right now, because look at the protesting. You know, women are frontlining it. Some of the stuff, whether you agree with it or not, you know, from Black Lives Matter to, you know, some wonderful Hispanic movement, some wonderful white women taking their time to come down there and get hit in the head with bottles, or you know, and not even knowing all the nuances with the protesting, but willing to say, I know something's wrong and I need to do something about it. And so, and sometimes I don't need the most educated person to stand in front of me if somebody's trying to kill me. You know, just somebody covering over me or showing their attention, it might save my life. So when we talk about, and then we go back to roles of women, I love it because, you know, sometimes we run from who we are, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of, you know, thank God that women do have a nurturing part to them. Not every woman is not nurturing, but for the most part, a lot of them are. So, and thank God for that, because if we didn't, where would this world be without a good word for the day, or without a namaste, or without somebody willing to, man. So once, I think when we really start to really enjoy the woman, then we change. For me, having 6 sisters, I just benefited so much for being around so many dynamic women. And and I say dynamic, that one day they're crazy, and the next day and then the next day they're the most wonderful people that you've ever met. But for me, what kind of person I wouldn't be right now if I didn't have all of that toolage in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So men need to kind of open up and hear the other side. And I'm learning how to do it because I ain't good at it. So
being with all those sisters, you don't leave the toilet seat up, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you still do?
See that, and let me tell you something. That's so funny because I despise people who put my toilet seat down. I need my toilet seat up all the time because my toilet has to be pristine and clean. So with the toilet seat down, you never know. So my seat, after everybody uses it, they got to spray it and lift the seat up. I like the seat up. You know I'm weird.
Listen, that's why I come by your house. I don't use your bathroom just because of that. Okay.
You know I'm weird. But Jonathan says, I agree. We, us, the future people, the young, need to step up, make changes for ourselves. Maybe it can be like, okay, we did an accomplishment. We made a goal, then stop. Keep pushing and get more.
Yeah. Get more. Yeah. Don't. I think when you get caught into the past, think about what you didn't do. That's useless. You did something. You just don't know how to quantify it as something of value at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever you did, you're here. So if you went and ate ice cream every day and then, if now you're 500 pounds, what you learned, don't go keep eating ice cream. So, yeah. I mean, you learn something. Okay?
It was somebody else's fault. It was somebody else. It wasn't the ice cream. It was somebody else's fault.
And we do that.
I like what, see now, if I say with something as simple as ice cream, and I say, you know what, it was somebody else's fault, somebody made me go eat it, and things like that, then it doesn't work for me, because then now I have not learned anything from that whole past experience of something, so I have to take that experience and make it work for me. I was just asking myself the other day, I think we talked about it, and I said, you know what I want to do? I want to make sure that all the stuff I done read and all the books I know, that I'm actually using this information to make it work something. I don't want to have all this information. I hate people with all this smart stuff and they don't do nothing with it. So, so I understood what you're saying, that you feel like people are not doing enough, but I got to make sure, like when we're having this thing, that is passionate, that, is clear, concise, and is letting people know you too need to get up off your butt and do something. It doesn't have to be something, and then we talk about stigmas. If you see something that you notice that they're dealing with the opposite sex in a sense, I'm just speaking for the men to how we're dealing with women, and something's not right, then I think that it's going to be on you as a man to work at putting your foot forward and saying, nah, that's not right. See, men have a whole, like you all have your own conversations when no man is around. We have our own conversations when nobody's around, okay? And they said, no, we don't. Yeah, we do. So, and when we do that, when we're having that negative flow of conversation, we need to be the person to say, no, look at it like this. Maybe she thought like this, or maybe she had that. And then we start doing that. That's how we can break the stigmas down on a micro level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's encouragement. You have all boys. You were one boy, the baby out of 6 sisters, older than you. Now you have all boys. And I think that with that mentality, it's about educating them and the ones surrounding them. And it's for girls to realize that, no, you got to be your own superhero. Because a lot of women also, they talk a lot of shit on one side of their mouth. And then on the other side, they want a man to do everything. Well, you're the man of the house. Well, why aren't you doing this and doing? And I hear it.
That's good.
I hear it.
That is a beautiful. You said something very powerful, because it's very true. You cannot be mixed messaged like that. You doesn't mean you can't have both. It just means that you have to be clear about it, and you say, listen, I do like doing things myself. I'm very independent. However, I also like when you do these things for me. And you admit that, as opposed to what you were saying, coming more like, oh, there's expectation of it. So yeah, you're right, Margie. It's like this annoying mixed message that we do tend to do as women sometimes. I will admit that.
We want to be this strong. I don't need no man. I don't need that. And then we want to be fragile like a little fucking weed flower.
No comment.
You know, not even a
No
rose, but just a
comment.
weed flower. And the reason I believe that it's raising your child, whether male or female, to have that mindset is because two of my husbands were raised with that mindset. You know, my son's father, he was number 7 out of 11 kids, and his chore was to learn how to take hem of pants. And to this day, his siblings still bring their trousers to him so that he can do the hem on them. Okay? And then my Eric was number 7 out of 7, right? And he was raised to learn how to cook, how to clean. Eric was like the neatest person ever, right, Byron? And so he loved doing the laundry. I didn't have to do the laundry. He did the laundry, dried them, fold them, put them away. But I told him, I clean my house, you take care of the outside. And he like at first didn't get it because he was used to doing that. But you know, you also got to know what's your strength. My strength is cleaning my house. You want to do the laundry, go knock yourself out. And then he took care of the outside until he couldn't, right? But I think that's all through upbringing. And sometimes you have enough people who are smart enough to observe their surroundings and say like, oh, I think I've been going about this wrong. And they pick up good habits by watching. But I think for the most part, as parents, we need to instill that mentality in our children.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That what you're talking about is an awareness. When somebody is aware of their surroundings, but to create an awareness, you also have to want to do it. And I grew up in a household where, so I'm the youngest of 3 with a boy at the top and then my sister in the middle. And we grew up in a very typical Italian American family where the boy is the bomb. And it's not saying that, you know, we didn't get love and attention from our parents. It's just there was definitely that male thing. And so the boy was able to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. And my sister, I have to say, took the worst of it. I was like dead last, like I was, and I was a really far distance from my siblings. So I'm a lot younger than they are. And I was at a point where everybody was sort of done with kids and they were working. So I was but my sister had it pretty bad because it was, my brother could do whatever he wanted. And my sister was always so restricted. And it got to a point, even with like dating, he could do whatever he wanted with whoever he wanted, whenever he wanted. And my sister was like actually called horrible names. She was like called a slut. She was called this. And it was just uncalled for, but that's like one of the social stigmas. It's that women have this place and you're not supposed to do these things, but for men, totally fine. And it's a terrible thing. And to this day, we talk about this, that she'll bring up sometimes about, not that she lives in it in the past, but she'll bring up, you know, how rough it was for her, where she was treated so poorly verbally and even physically sometimes, because she was the girl and there was a, you know, she was supposed to fill a role and do things a certain way. And I don't think that that's fair. And again, it starts with us. We have to say how we raise our children. So going from that, how do you raise your children? You know, you raise the men to be respectful of women and their strength and their power. And you raise the women to be independent, but also say, hey, let's do this together. But I'm equal to you. And also with women to this day, I think that it's important for us to raise our girls to say, that's not okay for you to talk to me like that. That's not okay for you to treat me like that. Absolutely. Because just because you're a guy, you can do that. I can do that too. And we can't make fun of a man for doing the things that are, quote, more feminine. Washing the clothes, doing the dishes, taking care of the kid. We can't do that role either and say, oh, look at him, he's the house husband.
Well,
so what?
It's going to happen, but on a micro level, then we need to be telling our young folk about the respective differences. My background. How much time we have?
We only have like 2 minutes because I gotta head off.
This is what I want to do because I don't want to lose that. Next time we get together, I want to talk about genders when substance abuse and mental health issues.
Okay.
Okay.
Write that down.
All right. So then we'll just do substance abuse and mental health issues on genders, because there's a big issue right now with the stigma that women, if you have a substance abuse issue, that you are a slut, a dirty, math head, no education, terrible back, it's a lot of stigma that comes with a woman trying to go get help with her substance abuse issue. And there's another issue for men trying to deal with their mental health issues that they're not supposed to have.
That's right.
So it works in reverse sometimes. So a woman says, "I'm gonna go get something done with mental health. I'm going to get a doctor. I'm gonna go see my psychiatrist." And if it's a woman, then it's okay. And if it's a man, it's like, what's wrong with you? Knuckle up. Handle it. Manage your business. Why you so that being the toughest man on the block definitely does not has his his down or
disadvantages.
Thank you with that. So next time we ever get together, I just want to say thank you for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure. But real quick, Chanel says that it's a great mixed message point. I'm blessed to have a husband who agrees on equality, but knows I won't cut the lawn, LOL. But I make my daughter go outside with him to learn and help with the yard work. My strength is indoor because that is how I was raised. Even though I did shovel snow, I also grew up in a city, and now we are in the countryside type with a lot more land and house than I ever grew up with. So it's all about adapting as well.
That's beautiful. That was beautiful, because she's right. She's not saying girls don't do that. She's telling her daughter to do that. She's just saying, I don't, not because I can't. It's just because that's just not something that I'm good at and want to do. But
I heard that's totally different. I heard that she hit the lotto and got her a big house.
Yeah. But she's from Bridgeport, and I love that she still said that.
With that big house, it's time to get somebody to cut the yard, sister. I heard. I got a guest house.
I know, right? But I think that everything you just said about that, I think if we raise our kids to have a strong mentality on who they are and what their belief system is, it's really, if we do it from a young age, then when ignorant people out there start attacking us that way because we're choosing to do the laundry or work part-time and be home for our kids when they come home after school because the wife, is dedicated to this, then I think that, things always affect you, but not to the point when you're strong-minded to say, yeah, that's okay. You have a good day.
The underlying piece for a man, when you're telling a man that he washing dishes and that's not right, then we're going to a whole homophobia piece. That's the underlying stuff.
But it is an underlying thing. But I mean, we'll go into it later. I know Lori got to go, but I still think it is how you raise your child
to be strong enough to withstand that.
Yes, it starts with you as a parent. Lori said about her brother and sister, I grew up thinking my name was Bitch and my father was Elvis Presley. But look at me, how fucking amazing I am now. I mean, Chanel said, hell no, make that man go do it. You go, girl.
Tell her to get off the line.
Well, thank you so much, Byron, for coming on. And we definitely want to have you back on because I love the interaction. This is a great conversation. And yes, I wrote that down so we can definitely put it on our list. We're actually going to be updating our programming schedule for this Sunday during our meeting. So we'll put that in. And so yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I gotta run because I gotta start teaching my kid for school today, and it's going to be a very long day today and the next couple of days. So Byron, thank you so much for coming on, and we will definitely have you back. And so you guys, everybody have a great weekend. This Tuesday's conversation is going to be get off your ass physically, mentally, and emotionally. So you don't want to miss that one. And my last statement, I guess, before the beautiful gladiator guru says hers is, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary. Gladiator Guru.
And I just want to give a shout out to my beautiful daughter, Tiffany, who said, hello, ladies. And story came on. So hello, my beautiful daughter. Mi gente, remember, breathe in the beauty, breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Wow. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.